I'd like to call the May 15th, 2023 Common Council meeting to order. Let's begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Councilwoman Cutler.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Clerk Treasurer Parthun.
Councilwoman Cutler.
Present.
Councilwoman West. Here. Councilwoman Konechny is absent. Councilman Frankie.
Here.
Councilwoman Ficus. Absent. Councilman Vincent.
Here.
Councilman Galloway.
Yeah.
5 present, 2 absent.
Approval of minutes. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Petitions and comments of citizens. I'd like to remind all of our individuals that are commenting that 3 minutes maximum. Also no derogatory personal attacks, and this is not a question and answer. So please, we look forward to hearing your comments. And let's begin with Jody Slaybaugh. And if you could state your name and address for the record.
Hello, nice to meet you guys again. My name is Jody Slaybaugh, 2402 North State Road 39, LaPorte, Indiana. And I'm coming here tonight to discuss the annexation, kind of an important thing to me. And I'm disappointed with all the misinformation that's been said and spread around about this annexation. It's really not helpful. I know the mayor's addressed this, and I've addressed it almost every day since it began. For the last year, residents have heard the city say that they're unsafe in the district. 39 North Conservancy Board District, the district engineer, and now a third party, BS Engineering, studied the 39 North water system and determined that all residents are safe anywhere in the district. I would argue probably safer than other county residents. It's been said that the district doesn't have a plan to fix the water system. The Conservancy District definitely has a plan, and they've been trying to secure funds to fix a problem that I think that, in my opinion, I hope to get the sign-off sheet by tonight, but I didn't. But anyway, in my own opinion, I think the city helped create this problem that they have out there. Let me explain. All studies say 39 North residents are safe anywhere in the district. Fire safety meets or exceeds state and local fire requirements. The system's shortcoming is the industrial fire suppression system. And the district's recent study revealed that a developer installed a 2,400 gallon per minute fire suppression pump on the district's 1,500 gallon per minute system. Our district president asked at the last board meeting, who authorized this, because I don't remember this coming across my desk. According to the city's current contract with the district, Section 10 states the city shall have the right final approval for all permits issued by the contractee. The contractee in this case is 39 North Conservancy District. In speaking with other developers in the district, they confirmed that the city must approve all industrial development in the district. So the city must have approved this new facility back in 2017 with its 2,400 gallon per minute fire suppression pump. In my opinion, that jeopardized the whole industrial system, the fire suppression system over there. 39 North has planned a water tower since 1997. The location is in the city's 1997 contract with the district. What hasn't been mentioned by the city is the same contract in Section 13 titled Fire Protection Storage is that the city and the district reached an agreement that the water tower doesn't need construction until the district's average daily usage reaches 360,000 gallons per day. That's in the contract. The district's average daily usage today, or in 2022.
Thank you, Mr. Slaybaugh. Your 3 minutes are up.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll put the rest online. Thank you.
Thank you. Please do. Chris Pinkerton, if you could state your name and address for the record.
Chris Pinkerton, LaPorte, P.O. Box 1811. 39 North did a 20-year levy on their homes and their property. They paid off a $6.5 million loan out of their own pockets for the new water and pipe system that is out there now. Mayor, you and the city council said we'll only give you back a third of your money. How many of all of you sitting here would be willing to sell your homes for a third less than what your value is? And everything else, but yet you guys are putting a third for the money out there with them. You all say you must do this for the safety of the people on 39 North, yet in the original ordinance, notice I said the original ordinance said till you reach 360,000 gallons of water a day, you don't. I repeat, don't need a water tower. 39 North is only at 50,000 a day right now. There is no urgency out there. But since you and the mayor and the 100% of the backing of the city council modified that ordinance in January of 21, so under you guys' ordinance that you guys changed, you say that this must be done now. Then you guys came in under Article 5 of this annex, and under Article 5, you don't, let me repeat, you don't have to give information to anyone who is signing 150 to 160 pages. So most of you give it may be 14 pages, and then you guys decide what is to be given to those people. You guys decided. Would you guys sign 150, 160 pages without knowing what you were signing? But they're supposed to. Under this article, it also says that you have to come voluntarily. I've talked to a lot of these people, some of them in tears with their eyes, saying, we have to sign, because the mayor says if we don't, he's going to shut our water off. And again, on an ordinance, him and the city modified to say this. So all of you are going under your own ordinance to enforce this. What you're not telling the people is when they do sign the paperwork, it's wrote up as someone, as if on a deathbed. It's the same type of ordinance that they are signing, so the city basically has somewhat of control over it, but you're not telling about that. Shaw Friedman said only a fool would end up signing this. You have 35 North Legacy Hills signing for city water, Rolling Prairie signing for sewage, and Fish Lake. All of them signing. Know what? No annex needed out there, so you guys say, but yet you need an annex out here on 39 North. Don't understand it. I call that a double standard. Then the planner that we end up getting for the annexation, he happens to come from Michigan City. Over in Michigan City, he made an $8 million deficit in the red that those taxpayers have to eat. Here, what are we doing? You guys.
And again, we're not going to make personal attacks of misinformation
I called no names.
of what he did. You said the planner.
Yep. So I don't think that the city can handle an $8 million deficit in this area. I'm happy there's an election year coming up. Anyone who signs it, let's see what happens on election day.
Thank you. Those are the two comment cards that we do have. Craig Phillips, as a part of this, since they brought up the 39 North, we have had 3 meetings over the past week and a half that some of you were able to attend that does discuss the financial plan. And Craig Phillips, if you'd like to brief the council to the point on the financial plan regarding the annexation.
All right, good evening, members of the council. As a courtesy to those who were not able to attend the public information sessions as a part of the outreach program as required by state statute, I've been asked to give a brief presentation on the information that was presented at those public information meetings. The outreach program requirements in state statute require that we provide 3 pieces of information as part of the outreach meetings. One is maps showing the proposed boundaries of the annexation territory. 2 is proposed plans for extension of capital and non-capital services in the annexation territory, including proposed dates of extension. And 3 is the expected fiscal impact on taxpayers in the annexation territory, including any increases in taxes and fees. So first off, I have copies of maps available for anybody who's in the audience that would like a copy of the map, but I will just generally describe the boundaries of the annexation area. On the north side, it is bounded by the toll road and the toll road interchange at State Road 39. On the west side, it follows the active South Shore Freight Rail line to the point where it intersects with the inactive Chessie Railroad, former Chessie Railroad right-of-way, Follows that all the way down to McClung Road, very southern tip of the annexation area is McClung Road, basically at the VFW Hall. From there, it follows the west shore of Fish Trap Lake up to Seavers Road, and then from that point basically follows the boundary of the existing territory of the 39 North Conservancy District back up to the toll road. So for the purpose of that, like I said, I have maps available for anybody who would like a copy. We made those available to everybody who attended the meeting as well. The annexation area consists of approximately 973 acres in total. The perimeter boundary is over the 12.5 or 1/8 contiguous required by state statute. There's another item that we want to cover, and that is with regard to the boundary of the annexation area. Why did we not go farther north, and why does it not include the remainder of the 39 North Conservancy District territory? And that is because of that requirement for contiguity, that at least 12.5% or 1/8 of the boundary of the annexation area must be contiguous or touching existing city limits. So based on that and the calculations we performed, we are roughly 13.5% in terms of contiguity. So we didn't have the ability to go any further physically with additional annexation territory as proposed in this annexation. The land use in the area currently consists of residential property, industrial property, commercial property, and vacant industrial land. The existing zoning includes agricultural zoning, highway commercial B3, light industrial M1, and single-family R1B zoning districts. The current population of the annexation area is estimated at 176, based on an estimate of 2.48 persons per household as per 2010 census data. Sorry, 2020 census data. The real property assessed valuation for the annexation is $30,631,075. With regard to non-capital services, these will be provided within 1 year of the effective date, which we anticipate to be on or about December of this year. These include services such as police protection. Regarding police protection, we anticipate the need to hire 3 additional officers to cover 1 additional officer per shift. This will allow us to provide for coverage of the city in a more effective manner based on conversations with the police chief. In addition to this, so the 3 additional police officers include an estimated total of $240,000 in salary, wages, benefits. In addition, 3 new police cars will be required for an additional total cost of $150,000, and an additional increase in fuel and maintenance costs for the department of approximately $8,100 as a result of this annexation. In terms of fire protection, the annexation is currently covered by Center Township Volunteer Fire Department, but upon annexation service would be provided by the LaPorte Fire Department. Due to the location and character of the annexation area in close proximity to Fire Station 2, the fire department does not anticipate any additional costs for the provision of fire service to the annexation. Emergency medical services will continue to be provided by LaPorte County EMS. There's no change in that as a result of annexation. Street maintenance, LaPorte Street Department would be responsible for maintenance of the area within the annexation territory. This would add about 1.9 additional miles of streets to the city. Street Department provides services such as street sweeping, snow plowing, leaf and brush pickup, street paving, and repairs. We anticipate the need for an additional $9,800 of additional annual operating costs for supplies and repairs, and an additional approximately $80,000 of salary, wages, and benefits for 1 additional employee. In addition to that, a new dump truck fully equipped with a snowplow and salt spreader at an estimated cost of $250,000. And we anticipate local road and street and motor vehicle highway funds will pay for these costs. Trash collection and recycling will be provided to properties, residential properties up to 4 units. Anything above 4 units, such as and commercial and industrial properties, will need to continue to provide their own private service. It's estimated that the cost of provision of trash collection services will be approximately a maximum of $15 per month. We don't anticipate the need for any additional parks as a result of this annexation area and the number of additional residents that are currently included in the annexation area. Street lighting, we anticipate the need for an additional 16 street lights. This will result in an annual cost of an additional $2,800 for the city, and the city's general fund will cover these costs. And other governmental administrative services, which include all the other departments that I haven't mentioned, and all of the other boards and commissions, those services will be provided into the annexation area as well without anticipated additional costs. We're also required to provide information with regard to capital improvements. We intend to provide for capital improvements within 3 years of the effective annexation date. These include water service. The water service would be provided by the LaPorte Water Department. And there are necessary capital upgrades to the area, which include a new water tower, new booster station, and looping, as well as other improvements. The cost of these upgrades is estimated to be at approximately $11.7 million, and we intend to pay for this through a combination of bonds and grants that would be available to us as a full-time operator. With regard to wastewater service, the annexation area would be serviced by the LaPorte wastewater department, and we anticipate the need to provide for an extension of sewer at a cost of $250,000 and a lift station improvement in the vicinity of County Road 300 North as a result of the annexation area. These would be paid for with funds on hand. Finally, with regard to capital improvement street construction, there is one street segment, which is Kuchar Drive, which we anticipate the need to pave at a cost of approximately $320,000. Full construction of that. Again, all of these capital improvements that I've mentioned would be provided within 3 years of the effective date of annexation. The third item that we were required to cover, and information was provided on, had to do with fees. Those include water service, which carries with it a minimum of $21.35 per month, dependent upon usage. Wastewater and wastewater handling, which has a minimum monthly fee of $23.90, again, dependent upon meter size and usage. Stormwater fee is based on the amount of impervious surface on the property, including any buildings, parking, etc. That is at a minimum of $5.49 per month per unit. A standard residential home is would see a cost of $5.49. The number of units is based on every 3,000 square feet of impervious surface on a property, and then you apply that $5.49 per unit of 3,000 square feet accordingly. As I mentioned, garbage, we have a cost of approximately a maximum of $15 per month for up to 4 units. Again, more than 4 units, commercial, industrial, et cetera, would have to continue to provide for their own private service. There is a public fire fee, a minimum of $2.63 per month, dependent upon the type of property. That is for the purpose of maintenance of the city's fire hydrants throughout the entire system. And there's a street maintenance fee of $2 per month per property that is assessed to cover street maintenance necessary as a result of the provision of trash collection and other services in the city. The impacts on the streets as a result of that. Those are all fees that are assessed through the monthly bill, the monthly water bill. The other 2 items that are not covered on the monthly water bill would be the wheel tax, which is dependent upon the type of vehicle, but a standard passenger vehicle is approximately $25, is $25 annually per vehicle registration, and paid for at the time of registration. And we have a dog registration fee, that is $5 annually if the pet is spayed or neutered, and $10 annually if the pet is not. And I also we also made available tax information for individual property owners that we have available for anybody who would like to meet with us and talk to us about that if they have questions about their individual property. So that's a synopsis of the information that was provided, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
And this will be the final approved piece will go in front of the council when? August?
The first council meeting in August is the anticipated schedule.
Questions for Mr. Phillips?
Craig, since the woman here tonight repeated the ridiculous statement that Mr. Friedman made a while back, can you just kind of briefly explain, in Michigan City, you were the city planner, correct, like you are here?
Yeah,
And,
Planning and Redevelopment Director.
right, and you worked with, I'm assuming they're Michigan City's financial accountants to prepare a fiscal plan, is that right?
Correct.
And that plan was voted on by the city council, is that right?
Plan was developed through input from all the city departments that were involved, just as the same as we've done here, as we prepare the fiscal plan for consideration by the council in this process. The consultants put that information together, presented it to the council, and it was ultimately adopted by the city council, correct?
So the extent that they believe there's deficiency, that they were the ones that approved it, correct?
Yeah, the numbers that were referred to were collected through the sanitary district and the water department, so directly from the consultants from those departments.
Thank you.
Before a pandemic.
So, as many of you are aware, the 39 North Conservancy District provided a study by VS Engineering. On May 9th, we asked at 8:30 in the morning, VS Engineering, Jeffrey Hall, to come in and share this study with us. They were unavailable, so we've asked Howard Jones of Nice Engineering to come forward. The first statement in that VS Engineering presentation was, we basically agree with your study. And so if you don't mind sharing your professional thoughts, brief of their study and how it correlates with what we've been saying since 2021 and before.
Absolutely. Good evening, everyone. Howard Jones with Nice Engineering. I'm going to keep this short because we don't want to really pick through every single item in an engineering report. There's not a great deal of need to that. But as the mayor stated, they had indicated that they broadly agreed with our initial thoughts as to what needs to happen up in 39 North. And we broadly agree with the fact that what they're saying is improvements are needed to meet current fire flow needs, and certainly in the bigger properties up there, the industrial, we agree with that. We also agree that the existing system will be unable to supply sufficient water to two simultaneous fires. That's fairly well understood, but we would add to that the same limitation would apply if you had a single fire and you needed two hydrants to be opened. And that is a risk that could certainly crop up with some of the larger buildings up there.
And large homes.
And large homes. We did have a look at the GIS system and identified 40 buildings that are 5,000 square feet or larger. Some of them are residential, some of them are commercial. Now, Chief Snyder can say better than I can, but once buildings start to get that size, he's typically going to want to use two hydrants. And what the failure mode that can occur with two hydrants open is that too much water ends up coming through that single booster station, which is the only source of water for 39 North. If too much water goes through the suction side of that booster station, the pressure drops. If it drops below a certain level, 25 psi, that booster station automatically shuts down. And at that point, no water at all will be heading up 39 North. And then it could be turned back on. But if this is the middle of the night, it means somebody's got to call the water department, they're going to get somebody out of bed, they're going to come over there, unlock the place, get in, and manually turn it back on. That's the last thing you want during a major fire event. And what this does is it puts an onus on those who are fighting the fire to add one more thing to what they've got to handle. Not only are they looking at their lines going into the fire, they're now being asked to mind how much water is coming through a booster station 1.5 miles away. That's probably too much for them to have to handle in what's going to be a stressful, demanding environment. And then finally, this may change in the final report. This is a draft report from VS, but we noted that some of their suggested improvements are not intended to meet future growth. They're only intended to meet deficiencies in the fire flow capability for large buildings. It also didn't address directly replacing the existing booster station. Now, ourselves and the city both agree that that existing booster station is getting up to about 25 years old. Its useful life is coming to an end. Any kind of improvements that are made up there really need to include replacing that booster station. In addition to the fact that its life expectancy is wearing out, it's a very different pumping arrangement when you're pumping to an elevated tank as opposed to pumping to a dead-end system. With an elevated tank at the north end, you can pump completely differently. So absolutely, we think that booster station needs to be replaced. And those are the comments I have. If anyone's got any other questions, there are other items in there, but I'd like to see the final report that they have, and I don't want to bore people with my opinion versus their opinion on minutiae within a report.
Well, and one of the LaPorte residents, not 39 North residents, Mrs. Pinkerton, who was just here, said 39 North paid a premium. You heard her say it, not us, paid a premium, and based on state, and Andy Snyder can probably compare this, they've said they're meeting the minimum requirement by the state, but they're barely, I don't know if you want to address, I don't want to put you in the middle of that, but they're barely meeting the minimums of water requirements by the state.
It meets the minimum requirement, but for larger buildings, it gets very complicated when you start looking at what the required fire flow is for a large building, because you need to look at the construction methodology of the building. Is it frame? Is it open steel? Is it masonry? And you also have to look at the combustibility of the contents. Is it full of asbestos tile? Well, okay, it's not likely to burn. But if it's full of combustible materials, it all comes into those equations. You'd really have to look at each building almost on a building-by-building case. But certainly these buildings that are substantially larger than 5,000 square feet, the recommendation from the International Fire Code is a lot more than 1,000 gallons a minute for an hour.
Questions for Mr. Jones? Thank you.
Thank you.
That will take care of petitions and comments of citizens. We'll move forward to, I'm sorry, David Heinold, public comment. I almost forgot.
David Heinold, Assistant City Planner, ADA Coordinator. So just before you to announce the LaPorte Trails, Greenways, and Blueways Master Plan Public Open House number 2. It'll be on Thursday, May 18th, 5:30 to 7 p.m. at the Civic Auditorium, 1001 Ridge Street. It's a good opportunity, though. There's going to be a presentation about a half hour into the workshop to offer different input on priority routes and recommendations that the consultant has come up with. So that's all I have.
Thank you.
Pretty easy.
Now let's move what I think our entire community should be proud of, excited about, and that is the LaPorte Slicers robotics team recognition. And I want to pull forward Miles Fettinger, who has really done a phenomenal job at putting this together, and the success you've had. Welcome, Mr. Fettinger.
Well, it wasn't just me. Todd Hudson is our Project Lead the Way teacher. He was also very complicit in our success this year. And I'm very proud of our kids and everything they've done. And I'd like to explain what the game was this year. Every year, the task changes. Everything that the kids have to do, everything that they have to perform is different. There's no complacency. The kids have to advance, they have to come up with new ideas and look forward to a new game every year. And I could take way too much time explaining what this year's was, so I just made a quick little 2-minute video that we can watch that kind of explains what the purpose and the pattern was for this year. Three-team alliance. So as you can see, there's a lot going on. And the kids had to design, prototype, program, and fabricate a robot in 60 days. And that'll be, again, starting January of next year, they'll have to do it again in 60 days, but it always changes. The year previous to this, the robot had to take balls and put them into 3 tiers of different, shots. They had to shoot baskets. And then the robot also had to climb monkey bars. And it's vastly different skills, and it's very interesting to see how the kids come up with what they need to come up with to solve the problems. And that's what this is. This is really a problem-solving moment for them. This is my 30th year teaching, and this is probably the best work experience building program I've ever seen. The kids have to divide into separate groups. We have one part that don't touch the robot at all. They're all entrepreneurial. Their job is to go out and seek sponsorships. Unfortunately, this program is not inexpensive. Just the fees alone are $15,000 a year. That's to attend. So travel and all that other stuff goes on top of that. There is another part of the team that never touches the robot. They're just media. I know Mr. Frankie, can attest to how important that can be. So there's a whole part of the team that does nothing but media stuff. They never touch the robot. And then obviously fabricators, electrical systems, coding, all of that is used in one giant group. So imagine you have a team, you have your team leads, they have people underneath them, they try to coordinate just like a real business. That's how it actually functions. That's the way it's made to function. So when they graduate, they're going to have all those skills already experienced when they show up at your doorstep. So that's a really, really good reason to keep us around and keep this team alive. I'm really proud of them. We have some here today. If you're on the team, go ahead and stand up.
And if you don't mind introducing all of them.
All right. Right in the front here, we have Sawyer Schnick. He's one of our main fabricators. He built a lot of the robot just himself. And then we have Alden Pinkston. He was our electrical person. He's the one that when it looked like spaghetti, he was able to go in and tame that beast and make sure everything was routed in the right way.
That's cool.
And everything was working well. Addison Scott did all the photography. She's the one who took all the pictures and everything you saw. Jillian, my daughter, Jillian Fettinger, was a human player. She was the person handing them the cones and handing them the cubes. And then that was a job that actually switched out. So Alden did that again at one point or another. Then hiding behind us here is our operator and driver. Emma West has driven the robot the whole season, and then Kaylin Myers has been the one who operates the arm. It's too much to drive and try to make it work. So they worked as a team to, score all those points. Now, generally, you as mayor get to give a key to the city, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, we're giving something back to you, considering you were one of our sponsors. So was Howmet Aerospace. So was EPAC, A&A Sheet Metal, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. They all donated to us. We had so much support from companies here in LaPorte. I was very, very happy. Especially Lee, right here, Burt Cook. They donated and helped us find other people to donate. The Unity Foundation gave us a huge grant. We were very thankful to all those people. They really made a difference this year. So you present keys to the city, we're presenting cones to the city.
Oh, my gosh. Can he get through there?
I don't think you're gonna get through. There you go. There you go.
That.
So close, so close.
Very good.
So what we did is, all the teams signed it. It showed all of the awards we won. The kids went to their first event in Mishawaka and won the Rookie All-Star Award. We went to our second event in Tippecanoe at Lafayette Jefferson High School. We won the Rookie Inspiration Award. And then we went to state. We were chosen to be the Rookie All-Star for the whole state. And that was our path to World Championships in Houston. So we're going to present you with your very own cone here.
Well, we are very appreciative. We've got to have everybody come up for a photo.
Sure.
And don't make sure Burt Cook talks to you about your employment opportunities when you leave here tonight. We don't want to lose you out of LaPorte. Can we bring him up for a little?
I don't know if it'll fit you.
Yeah, you should be able to.
It's kind of.
We also had some great mentors, Chris Schnick, Jessica Potter.
I don't know, can we move?
For us to travel,
What's Todd's last
we
name?
definitely had to have the cooperation
Waved at him.
of other parents and adults.
Evan, you got it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to hit you, and I can't get all the way over there. You disconnected me. You disconnected me. I can't drive it if you disconnected me.
We'll bring him out front here.
You guys might have to go that way.
Watch out.
Oh, there you
How
go.
far over am I bringing him?
Should we go that way or this way?
Watch out, Sawyer.
That is really cool.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm short. I'm not gonna lie.
We should probably register.
Perfect. Here, let's all get up here. Get up here. Come on, you two, get over here. Get up front.
I guess. I don't know. Squeeze in.
Yeah. You get in, Laura?
Yeah, I'm fine.
One more, guys, hold on. Thank you.
Can we clap now?
Can we clap?
Wrong. Thank you.
Oh, here we go.
Bring him back.
Careful, the mayor might touch
Remember,
that.
you set a new standard now, right? Always good to see you.
All right, Emma, you gotta pilot it back through the gap and then into the slide.
Sawyer, can you help us pack it? We're gonna need you help. I need you help lift me lift it up.
And how do you spell his name?
Good.
Which one?
Max.
We call it Mac 5 because it looks like macaroni and cheese.
Right?
Get me inside.
We've got 42 pounds of yellow chain to keep it from tipping over. Because it will go 25 miles an hour.
Oh, wow.
Could be, there's Velcro on the back.
I think we need to get this out on Michigan here and take this for a spin. See, yeah.
We could.
You don't have the TV controller name?
That's so cool.
Thank you. And best news for all of you in high school, you don't have to stick around for the rest of the meeting. But thank you. We are so proud of what you're doing in LaPorte High School.
I expect you to.
More to come, right?
Cool.
Court, they can go up.
Well, they are gonna have to go. Ramp. Chief's got your door, don't worry.
Oh.
They gotta go through on the ramp, yeah. Thank
We're
you,
not gonna
guys.
off-road it down the stairs.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
That might be next year's
Next year.
competition. Figure it out
Thank
down
you,
the stairs.
Mike.
Thanks, Miles.
It could be. The next theme is already out. It's called Crescendo. We may be asked to climb a pyramid.
Oh, wow.
So how do we do it? Nobody knows.
Excellent.
Not yet.
That's fun.
Standing committee reports. Council President Frankie.
The Sustainability Committee will meet a week from today, the 22nd, 4 PM here in council chambers. And the Redevelopment Commission will meet Wednesday, the 31st, 5:15 here in council chambers. That's all I've got.
Councilman Vincent.
Our next Traffic Commission meeting will be on Tuesday, June 6th, 5 PM at the police station.
Councilman Galloway.
The Mayor's Veterans Committee met last Monday on the 8th. Yeah. And the brick dedication will be the first Saturday in June. That's June the 3rd at 2 o'clock. And right now, they're planning on the Veterans Day at the Civic, November 10th at 10:30 a.m. And they've talked about trying to get the traveling wall here, but that's, I don't know. And they have lunch for veterans after the program at the Civic. Is the Civic going to be torn up by November?
That'll be a great question for Mark Schreiber. We want to confirm because we're going to pack the house.
Okay. And Police
I
Merit
think it
Commission.
should be ready, though.
Police Merit Commission met on the 9th, and right now they're 2 down, they have 2 in the pipeline.
Councilwoman Cutler.
At the May meeting of the Business Improvement District Board, City Planner Craig Phillips conveyed a request for funds for electrical outlets to be installed on Monroe Street. The request was declined because the bid has been in the process of removing all electrical outlets in the tree wells as part of the long-term design plan for the bid. And the flower planting in downtown is planned for the end of May, and Craig has also been working very hard on resolving the issues with the outdated irrigation system and control panel installed over 20 years ago. The bid is looking into purchasing a new system. The next meeting, at the bid will be Monday, June 12th at 5 PM at City Hall. And at the April meeting of the Urban Enterprise Association Board, a 50/50 business grant was approved for the Dunes Event Center to expand their parking lot. I believe that work has already been completed. And the May meeting was changed to an earlier date because of a conflict with the LEAP event. At the May meeting, a 50/50 grant was approved for 811 Monroe Street for window replacement, and also discussed were possible revisions to the current grant program to include repairs on alley-facing exteriors and some interior repairs. The next meeting of the UEA will be Wednesday, June 21st at 4 p.m. at the LEAP offices.
Councilwoman West.
Nothing to report tonight.
Council President Frankie, second and final reading.
Your Honor, I move to read an ordinance by title only for the second and final time.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Councilman Frankie.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 1820 regarding the membership of the Historic Preservation Commission.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion or review? Any council questions, thoughts? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Councilman Vincent.
Honorable Mayor, I'd like to make a motion for a second and final reading of an ordinance by title only.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Councilman Vincent.
An ordinance establishing the Dr. George L. and Catherine Pyatt Andrew House, 1209 Michigan Avenue, as a single-site historic district.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Councilwoman West.
Your Honor, I move to read an ordinance for the second time by title only.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Councilwoman West.
An ordinance establishing the Grisco House, 1302 Jackson Street, as a single-site historic district.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Council President Frankie.
Your Honor, I move to read an ordinance for the second and final time by title only.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Councilman President Frankie.
An ordinance to amend ordinance number 2-2019 to modify the schedule of service charges for municipal refuse and garbage collection under Chapter 86 of the Municipal Code of the City of LaPorte, Indiana. End of title.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion?
I have one. Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Councilman Galloway.
What I was told was, when they come out and they make a change from the bigger junk container to the smaller one, they're having a service charge fee on that when they come out?
No, there's a small cart, or small, is that what we call it, cart?
Small cart.
Waiver that they need to sign, just so that we have proof that they asked to go from a bigger to a smaller cart.
Okay.
That's the only,
If they change back to a larger cart,
be-
then there's a fee.
Right, okay, thank you.
Yeah, so it's a 96 gallon is what everybody received, and then they could request a 64 gallon.
I've got a couple sweet little old ladies. They both got these big carts. And I said, well, why don't you just, but they still can't get them out front, they're too big, so I said, get a hold of a smaller one.
Yep.
and they can obtain those small cart waivers from the utility billing office here at City Hall.
Thank you.
And we have had some of those individuals, after initially saying they did want it, want to keep their larger container. So do I have a motion to approve?
Didn't we? We already
have a
made that.
motion
We
and
just
a
need the
second.
vote.
And we do have a second. Further discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Councilwoman Cutler.
Your Honor, I move to introduce the resolution read for the first and only time in its entirety.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Councilwoman color, and she will be reading the entire mitigation plan.
She already did.
No, played that 40. I did already at home. A resolution by the Common Council of the City of LaPorte adopting the multi-hazard mitigation plan, April 2023. Whereas the Common Council of the City of LaPorte recognized the threat that natural hazards pose to people and property within the City of LaPorte, and whereas the Emergency Management Agency has prepared a multi-hazard mitigation plan, hereby known as the City of LaPorte Multi-Hazard Mitigation Plan, April 2023, in accordance with federal laws, including the Robert T. Stafford Disaster Relief and Emergency Assistance Act, as amended, the National Flood Insurance Act of 1968, as amended, and the National Dam Safety Program Act, as amended. And whereas the City of LaPorte Multi-Hazard Mitigation Plan, April 2023, identifies mitigation goals and actions to reduce or eliminate long-term risks to people and property in the City of LaPorte from the impacts of future hazards and disasters. Whereas adoption and approval by the Common Council of the City of LaPorte demonstrates its commitment to hazard mitigation and achieving the goals outlined in the City of LaPorte Multi-Hazard Mitigation Plan, April 2023. Now therefore be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of LaPorte as follows. The City of LaPorte adopts the City of LaPorte Multi-Hazard Mitigation Plan, April 2023, while content related to the City of LaPorte may require revisions to meet the plan approval requirements, changes occurring after adoption will not require the City of LaPorte to re-adopt any further iterations of the plan. Subsequent plan updates following the approval period for this plan will require separate adoption resolutions. End of resolution.
So this is a resolution, it can pass this evening. This is federal requirement. Attorney Otis, anything else you'd like to add?
Just again, we've worked with the County Emergency Management Agency, particularly when COVID was going on quite a bit, but to ensure that we want to get federal money if a disaster happens, it's important that we adopt their recommendations for, significant events like this.
Chief Snyder, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, just to tag on to what Attorney Otis said, it's an important plan. It has not been updated like it should be, but it is done now, not only for FEMA and federal grant reimbursement. It also, FEMA in particular looks at it, and if we are not compliant with that, we will not be eligible for other grants, and our department in particular relies on those grants heavily at times.
What kind of federal grants do you guys get at the fire department?
I mean, especially through the Firefighters Assistance Grant. SAFER Grant is one that will allow for additional hires. The Firefighters Assistance Grant just this last year supplied all of our three stations with brand new exercise equipment. We've used it for anything from SCBA's to hose, ventilation fans. So it's definitely something that we want to make sure we keep up on and have that steady stream of revenue coming in. Besides that, it allows for a plan in place if a disaster happens and gives us something to go by and work as a county, not just as a city.
Thank you.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a sec for further discussion. Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Before we move to adjournment, first of all, is any new information on the tabled item? At this point, no?
It was untabled. Oh,
Not this one, I don't think.
The
This one hasn't.
okay.
We had to be here at 6 o'clock, and I know the Leap Olympics begins this week, and so the public, anybody interested in attending, I assume Mr. Cook is free? Anybody that would like to attend the Leap Olympics is free to get in, to watch. And I know you began today, ring toss, any final notes of who might have won?
I would just say Councilwoman West was amazing, Councilman Frankie was great. Even, I think the city of LaPorte might have come out on top.
Only because I had to leave. And Sarah.
That was the same excuse you used last year in dodgeball.
That's okay, we're making a comeback.
All right, with that, do I have a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Everybody have a great, wonderful evening.